Hey there, friends. Welcome to the Common Kyser Show. It's great to have you here, and it's great to have yet another guest here today. Fantastic guest. Very basic. We both, last year in 2019, we both graduated from Cedarville University from completely different majors. I was a business major, and she is a nursing major. Um, Last year we graduated together. Currently she's working at, is it Lancaster or Lancaster, however you say it? Lancaster General in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. She was, fancy. She was public schooled and, well, I don't know, like not really much of a PK, but, like, I don't know, you like to go on public school, so I figured I'd throw that in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd like to introduce Maddie Feiser. So, welcome to the show, Maddie.
Good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, it's great to have you here. I remember I think I did an interview with Lane. And you're like, oh, like, I don't know, you saw it and you're like, oh, I was like, might as well see how this goes. So,
Yeah. I mean, night shift, you get a lot of listening to podcasts, and you're a friend, so I listen to yours probably more than other podcasts. So
I appreciate it.
I could do this.
I appreciate it. All right, so we're going to get started with the warm up. I got a lot of guest questions or audience questions here. So we're going to start with me too. Some of these I am. So the first one comes from Wyatt. So this one's straight from Wyatt Kyser. He's my brother. He's asking, why do they call you MF on the streets?
Well, okay. So by the streets, you mean you, Wyatt, and your brother Wade in front of me are the only people that call me MF. And I guess Marcus now does too.
Gotcha.
But because of my initials, which my name's Maddie Feiser, and yay me, MF is my initials, so I guess that stuck out to you guys. You
it did,
Christian private school kids. So
yes,
gotta have fun with that. So
you do have to have a good time. All right. Next question is from my sister Morgan.
Okay.
How does it feel to be the best MF around?
Feels pretty dang great. Yeah.
The best Maddie Feiser around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I know any other Maddie Feisers.
No, although random. Sorry, here's
No,
a tangent for you.
yeah.
There's someone that has my last name at work, and I've never met them before.
Really?
I'm like, I don't think I'm related to them, but I was like, I had to search something.
Spelled in the same way?
Yeah. I was like, what the heck?
Basically like long lost siblings.
Basically.
Oh gosh. All right, next question from Morgan. This is like completely polar opposite. What's your favorite Bible verse and why?
Oh gosh. So my favorite verse actually is I forget now where it is from. It's a psalm, but it's my help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Basically got me through nursing school because nursing school is TIFF. So
you can have it. I'm going to stick with my business school.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I want to ask this one, but someone asked it, so.
Gosh.
This comes from someone named Drew Domer. We went to high school together, and he went to Cedarville, or goes to. I don't think you've ever met him, but business major. And he's asking, on a scale of 1 to Nick Cage, how hot, H-A-W-T, is Wade?
What end of the spectrum is Nick Cage?
Is this a real question? I mean, 1,000?
No.
Negative 12?
I don't know. Can I plead the fifth on that one? I feel like a weird answer.
I do too. But I was like, even if someone asks like the worst question, I'll still ask it because why not?
Yeah, whatever.
All right, I got a few from someone named Hallie Cole. We went to high school together. She's got 4 right here. So first, she wants to know dark chocolate or milk chocolate.
I guess dark. It kind of depends on what percentage it is, but honestly,
percentage.
Yeah, like 70%.
Yeah, like okay. So 70% dark, 30% milk, or
I think it's like just how much of the cacao bean they put in it or whatever.
No.
But honestly, I like milk chocolate more. I know it's not technically a chocolate, but
I don't even know what you're talking about with it not being technically a chocolate. So whatever. Let those connoisseurs just not have their opinions taken seriously. That's the way I see it. All right, good answer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like to ride roller coasters?
Yes, I love roller coasters.
What's your favorite roller coaster?
So there's a ride at the Six Flags in Gurnee, Illinois, where I used
Six
to live.
Flags. Okay. Yeah.
And that was called the Raging Bull, and it
Okay.
supposedly had the record for the steepest drop or something. It was pretty crazy. I don't know how high it was, but you
Neither
just
do I.
like duck. You like go practically straight down. It was a little terrifying, to be honest. And then you like go into this tunnel, and it kind of feels like you're about to hit the tunnel because of just the angle that you're coming in at it. But it was pretty cool.
The Raging Bull.
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever been to Cedar Point before?
No.
No. Oh, you're missing out on a good time. But I'm sure. I think I went to Six Flags when I was like too young to even remember. So, but I'm sure it's. I kind of forgot it was still a thing. So, all right. Next question. What's your favorite pun? I know you got an answer for this one.
Well, I guess my like go-to would be the mango pun.
Please explain this one.
So, puns are my favorite, and I just have a very juvenile sense of humor. And I guess puns are juvenile because no one really actually likes puns except for me, apparently.
If it makes you mad, then it was a good pun.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy. Okay, so what's the mango pun?
So it's a fruit pun. Obviously, it's a mango. So if that man doesn't appreciate your puns, let that man go. It's classic.
That's great.
It's fantastic.
All right. Final question from her. Would you rather go scuba diving or snorkeling? Go, man, go.
I honestly don't know what the difference is between scuba diving and snorkeling.
So-
Scuba diving, you go deeper, right?
Yeah, scuba diving, you would like wear like oxygen tank, like go
Oh.
deep. Snorkeling's more like, think of like you got like the mask and the
tube,
air
right?
tube that goes straight up.
Probably snorkeling, just because knowing me, I would somehow inhale water and die.
From
So-
scuba diving?
From snorkeling.
So you'd rather die from snorkeling?
No, I'd rather go scuba diving.
Oh, I
because
thought you said snorkeling. I was like, so you want to die? I was
No,
like,
if I
dang,
went
that went,
snorkeling- if I went
that
snorkeling-
escalated quickly.
No, but can't
Okay.
you see that? I would somehow inhale water.
I've actually been snorkeling once. I was actually in the Great Barrier Reef once. It was not a good time because at the snorkeling I got water in my tube and it did not end well.
Right,
So
so it's a fear.
it sucks.
Yeah,
So okay, good deal. All right, so I got two from Ju Hee Jung right here.
I love Juhi.
So first question is, how can you not? First question is best episode at work? Question mark.
Like crazy episode.
Just said best episode at work. I don't know if you two have a connection on something like that where she's looking for something.
Well, honestly, my best episode from work would be before I was even a nurse. It would be when I was an aide in a nursing home.
Oh, okay.
There's always great stories when you work in a nursing home. I had a patient that was totally losing his mind. It was really sad, but he's super sweet.
All right.
And literally the hottest day of the summer on a holiday weekend, and this man had to use the bathroom, and he ended up doing number 2 all over the floor, and he ended up sitting on the radiator because he thought it was a toilet, and then it was in the radiator.
Oh
And we
no.
had to clean him up, which is fine. Like,
You had to clean out the
whatever.
radiator?
We couldn't get to it, and maintenance wasn't going to be there for 3 days, so we had to
Oh,
move him and his
smell.
roommate into another room. It was pretty crazy, and we were just like, how does this even happen? And of course, it was right at shift change.
Oh my
so-
goodness. So they're all mad at you.
Well, no, it was like I was an oncoming shift, so they were like, so this happened. Here
Oh,
you
they
go.
gave
I was
it
like,
to you.
Are you kidding me?
That's classic.
Yeah.
Was that a day shift or a night shift that you were working?
Day shift. Night shift gave it to me.
Night shift is the worst.
Honestly.
Just kidding. I hate day shift. No. Yeah, I work nights, so I
They
hate
have their
day shift.
pros and cons.
They do. They really do. But I like night shift. All right. Next question from Juhi. Anyone on the horizon?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, it's like
I think I know what she's asking. No.
Yeah. So, okay. Callie Dunn, why do you trip all the time?
I've been told that by my very knowledgeable nursing friends that I probably don't have a cerebellum for balance, but I don't know. It's probably genetic.
Genetic. Yes, I feel like you trip more than like drunk people. It's like, I swear this girl's not even drinking. She just, I forget, where were we walking? You like tripped on the floor or something.
Probably.
Was it the SSC probably? I don't know.
Honestly, I've tripped standing still, so. I don't know how that one happened either.
I don't either. All right. Final guest or audience question I got on this list. This one comes from my mom, Marnell Kyser, and she's asking, what does "you're a grown man" actually mean?
Oh, no.
Well.
Wow. Okay. It means that, I guess, an adult person who just happens to be a grown man.
Why would she be asking that question?
Because you're a tattletale.
Me, a tattletale? Yeah, so I think it was over spring break was it our senior year?
Yeah.
Spring break of 2019, spring break 2K19, back when you could actually have spring break. Actually, 2020, I think a lot of people, COVID, shut things down right after spring break. So it was like...
I mean, that didn't stop people in Florida, let's be real.
Still, yeah. But they during that, you guys were up in was it New York or Pennsylvania?
PA.
Mm-hmm. And you guys I think Charity was cutting Wyatt's hair and you put it on a Snap story, and I think I commented like, "Oh, my mom doesn't approve of this," because we were having dinner and I showed her and she's like, well, these girls going around and cutting boys' hair or something, I don't know. And you snapped me back. It's like, he's a grown adult. He can do what he wants. It's like, Mom, like, I don't know. It's like, Maddie just said this. Like, what?
Well, yes. You just said that your mom wasn't happy that it was happening. And I said that he can make his own choice, but whatever. It was more of just like a whatever to you, not like a whatever to your mom.
And then I told my mom and she wasn't thrilled. She's like,
tattletale.
And you were like actually mad at me for a while.
Yeah, I like your mom. She was cool when we visited.
Yay, my mom. All right, so that was just her question. So I got a few more, and then we'll wrap up the warm-up. What is the best video game ever made?
I'm a little kid and I love Lego video games because they're pretty straightforward. But honestly, Battlefront, like the original Battlefront,
oh
is
my gosh,
great.
I haven't played it, but I have heard very good things. But the new ones, though.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I get motion sick super easy, and my brother plays the new versions of Battlefront, and I get like so motion sick watching him play because it's hyper realistic, like drawings and everything. The old ones, it's not realistic, which is helpful. Plus, I'm pretty cool and good at it. So.
Good at it?
Yeah.
I'd have to see this.
Yeah.
What about Mario Kart?
I'm okay at Mario Kart. I get into it, but...
Yeah. I still remember, I think we were playing Mario Kart at Charity's house, and we were getting into it pretty good.
Yeah.
Moo Moo Meadows. And then Wyatt beat us all at the very end. Oh.
Yeah. I'm surprisingly good at Rainbow Road.
Rainbow Road? Are you sure?
Yes, I am.
You
I
were?
think it's because I haven't played it in a while, but probably just jinxed myself. I just fall off the edge every time.
Oh, gosh. I hate the Rainbow Road.
Yeah.
It's the worst. But I'm sure Battlefront, I almost said Battle Royale. I'm sure it's a good time.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
All right. If you were able to switch lives with a celebrity for a day, who would it be?
Probably Taylor Swift.
T Swift?
Yes.
Oh, that's a solid choice. Did OJ do it?
I'm going to say yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, that's all. Why do you think so? Just because? The glove did not fit, so it acquitted.
I think there's a lot of holes in the case that were paved over with money so that they were avoided.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Fair enough. I don't know. There's apparently like a really good documentary on it. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I just asked that. All right. Final question. What is the best compliment you've ever received?
That I have really good legs and jeans.
Good legs and jeans?
Don't ask me why. Someone just randomly told me that. I don't know who this person was. I was like, wow, thank you, random person.
You wear skinny jeans at all?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't look down there much.
No, it's fine.
My eyes are up here, so
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
No.
All right. Well, that's all I got for you today. So congratulations.
Thanks.
You survived the warm-up.
Oh, good.
Thank you all, audience, for listening so far. Oh, the other camera doesn't have me, so thank you for listening so far. And we'll be back with more on Maddie Feiser.
Richard Head here with another amazing product. With all this coronavirus that's infecting our country, we've discovered a cure, COVID-X. With our patented blend of herbs, spices, and dish detergent, it's guaranteed to cure not only coronavirus, but COVID-19 as well. Watch as COVID-X cures my own personal case of COVID-19. Cough, cough. Never felt better. But wait, there's more. Order within the next 90 minutes, and you get a free case of Covich absolutely free.
Warning, side effects may include but are not limited to vomiting, increased sickness, dying, and worst of all, everyone knowing you're an idiot for drinking toilet bowl cleaner. Covidex is not for everyone, or really anyone when you think about it. Call your doctor if you are actually considering taking this product, and when we say doctor, we mean psychiatrist. Don't take Covidex if you actually have coronavirus, COVID-19, or any other disease. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's great to have you here. Maddie and I, we are still talking about Maddie, right? So I kind of want to start this part off with this question. The question is this. If you fell into a coma a year ago and just woke up today, what would be the first thing you'd ask after all that has happened?
Like, I just woke up, first question that I asked.
Just like waking up.
Probably what the hell?
What the hell? Literally,
like,
though.
2020, what is this?
I don't know.
Jeez Louise.
Like, I mean, usually, like, at the end of the year, people, like, 2019 people would say, oh, it's been a rough year or whatever. Like, oh, they'll make the jokes. But this year, like,
we're not even in December, and it's
we just started August. Like,
the worst today.
It's been, yeah, because today's technically August 1st.
Yeah.
It's crazy. No, it's been a weird year. Just, I don't know, just Corona, just out of nowhere. Like, I mean, I think there can be argued that there were some signs coming, but
Right.
I mean, people get sick, and I don't know.
Who saw this one coming?
Especially this. I mean, honestly, like, if you'd have told me the day before they closed everything down, I still don't think I'd have believed you. I mean, like, oh, they'd never done that before, and then
Like,
they did it.
I don't think they shut anything down for, what was it, 1918 or whenever the flu pandemic was early on. I don't think they shut stuff down then.
Probably
Because
not.
they didn't really understand germs back then either. So
Yeah, well, I don't think the world was not as connected, and like today, you can get from here to China in less than 2 days.
True.
You just fly over there. It's crazy. It's, and just in general, like, information can get spread so much faster. Like, you can shut down the whole country in a day
yeah,
and open it back up, and or just keep it shut down forever. We'll see. Yeah, no, it's been a weird year. I don't know, like, because you're a nurse, you deal with a lot of this on the front lines and stuff, so you got your own account of everything that you've dealt with. So I guess I'll just start with this. What is the impact of Corona on your occupation? You can give a story. I don't know. It's a very open-ended question.
Yeah. I would say that, like, a positive impact of it, we'll start positive first. Positive
There you go.
would be, like, I don't know, just, like, confidence in myself as a nurse, as for, like, making decisions and, like, talking to doctors, because I don't actually know of many nurses that like talking to doctors in the middle of the night, because I work a night shift. But it was a really hard experience to have to learn all that through, but, you know, I'm thankful for it. A negative impact would just be, like, how much people don't seem to care, and this might cause controversy for some people.
In terms of,
like, outside of the hospital, like, wearing masks versus no masks, like, I don't know, to me, like, there's a lot, like, having had to deal with that for, like, 3 months only, it was just, like, I don't get why you can't see that you're helping more than hurting if you wear a mask. But I mean, everyone has their own opinion.
do you like, have you seen people around in public not wearing it, or is it just stuff you? Okay, yeah. I was like, I'm sure you have. It just, yeah, it's kind of interesting with. I mean, in terms of, you want to go controversy, like, I'm on the lines of, like, do I think we should shut everything down and, like, make sure people can never go out? I'm not that crazy. Like, there's got to be a better option.
Yeah.
But I will say, it's just law or not. Like, I mean, it's like, people make the argument that, oh, the government's using the mask mandate to control our lives and stuff. And I mean, I can see why people would feel that way, but it's also like, just, I mean,
the government
just wear
mandates you to wear a seatbelt.
Exactly. It's pretty, like, I have to wear a shirt.
Right.
So it's just, I mean, I think if there's the argument of hunker down, wear it for a few months, okay. Yeah. I mean, do I see a clear path of how this is going to end? Of, all right, was the virus going to mutate out of what it is into the flu. We don't wear masks for the flu, and people get it. I mean, people can, but not to the extent of what it is. Right. I don't know. It's just like whenever I go out in public, if I go in a store, I'll put one on. Like, at least if anything, do my part. Or also, there's the whole mandate thing. Right. I don't know. It's a tricky one. It's been a weird past few months with it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where to go with that. What else you got?
I don't know. Like, I really appreciate working with the people that I do work with. I feel like it brought us all closer together. Mm-hmm. And you really have to rely on the people on your unit because, especially like night shift, there's not as many resources available for you. So like you have to think on the fly a little bit more and just like be slightly more creative, I feel like, than when you have a lot of resources at hand on day shift. But I think dealing with it is like something that I haven't really been good at doing, if that makes sense. Like dealing with like COVID, how it's impacted patients' lives and like death and whatnot. Like,
I mean, what's a good way to deal with it?
Well, yeah, like I would just sleep probably all the time, just because you're so mentally and physically exhausted. But like, I mean, I know lots of people drink because that's how they deal with it on night shift, and I don't know, I don't know what a good way to deal with it is.
And that's usually how it goes. I mean, you don't know until you can look back.
Right.
And I mean, it just, I don't know, like, we're still pretty young. And I know I've talked to a lot of like older people about this as well. And it's like, never before, you know. I mean, obviously we've had pandemics and, you know, the good old mass graves and all that. Yeah. But, I don't know, like how quickly it's like, I mean, you know, I think we were talking earlier about like there were signs of, you know, some patients back in like November or something that were showing maybe some potential signs.
Just like early on, but like we don't know to look for that. So.
And that's the thing. Like, I mean, even kind of like I still remember like earlier on, it's like, oh, like COVID, like Corona. I mean, China was shutting things down. Like I remember having Sue Edwards on the podcast. She was back in January, and we talked a little bit about it because just like she's in China right now. It's like, so Corona, like, I don't know, is it as big of a deal that they make in the media? It's like, actually, it's getting kind of nasty over here. I think they were just shutting down Shanghai around that time. And that was like 2 months before they came over here and we started shutting things down. And it's just kind of interesting to see how it has developed because there can definitely be an argument made for certain reactions to it over there. Like they found it. To my understanding, there's a doctor that found it. They could have like mass reported like, hey, let's shut things down. And then they didn't. So I don't know. It's always tough because it's like, there's so many diseases out there. Like which one's the one that you're going to lose the deal? Like, but also if you freak out and it's not a big deal, that was a waste of time. So I don't know. It's tricky. What would you say is a unique experience you had as a nurse before Corona hit? So apart from the guy pooping on the thing, because, I mean, obviously there was a world before all this.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, you're asking me to think back.
Oh, boy. It's hard to remember a world without all this.
I guess, like, this happens to every nurse, I feel like. Just getting hit on by patients, dementia patients or not dementia patients, which is slightly worse. That was an experience that I probably could live without, but you know, it'll happen.
It happens. I guess it's one of those things. It's like, oh, thank you. Oh gosh, please stop. Yeah. All right. What would how would you say has your occupation been different from the expectations our culture has had for it? Like usually nurses are like healthcare heroes and all this. Like what's the inside scoop on this?
Like my expectation of what nursing was?
Sure. Yeah. What was it? Because I mean, we all had that point where we're like, oh, I want to be a nurse.
I don't really know what my expectation was, to be honest. Like I feel like I've wanted to be a nurse since I was little, so I don't know what my expectation was back then. I just like being around people, and you're with people all the time when you're a nurse, so. but like school, like we get clinicals and stuff, so that kind of like set the expectation of what it would be like. Definitely some clinical rotations were better than others. Like one of the hospitals we were at for clinical was not a good unit to be on, and so it kind of set the bar low in terms of like what I thought working on a unit would be like. And no, the unit I'm on is completely the opposite. It's like everyone likes each other. There's no drama. You help each other out. Like it's totally different.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I was just curious because like nurses, they usually say, oh, like they're the most trusted profession.
We are.
Yeah. So would you say, like, I don't know, just like, I guess, I don't know, I kind of want to go, like, how different has it been? Because, I mean, obviously, Corona, and feel free to get close to the mic on this one, but, like, Corona has, changed things a lot. Like, I don't know, like, you haven't been in the profession long, and I know I haven't been in my job very long. I literally just started, But from what you see, like, obviously it's a little different. So, I mean, are you guys hauling out people by the truckload, or is it just like, like, I don't know, I'm just curious.
Wait, so what exactly was the question?
So, like, how different, like what's it like because of Corona on the floor? Like, is it, but, because, I mean, you got the media there, like, pushing certain narratives depending on what you listen to, but, like, what do we got here?
I mean, I can't speak for every.
Obviously,
every
HIPAA.
Hospital. Well, HIPAA,
Yes.
but I can't speak for every hospital or
Sure.
area because every place was hit differently.
Yeah.
But
what about Lancaster?
So Lancaster has a lot of retirement.
Lancaster, my bad.
That's it, right. Lancaster has a lot of retirement communities. It's a very beautiful place to retire to if you like rolling hills and farms and whatnot. So lots of older people. So early on, we had a lot of elderly people that were super sick from retirement homes.
Oh, okay.
So it was like super intense, and just like I didn't hate nursing to be like, if I had to do this again, I wouldn't do it. But it was like, why the heck am I doing this? Like,
you go through that phase.
What am I doing with my life right now? But like just for my hospital, we had to reuse masks, and it was just like a lot of stipulations that before, when like PPE supplies wasn't an issue to get a hold of because you weren't using it every shift for every patient, we had to start reusing that. So that was kind of an adjustment because like you go from like throwing out whatever you finish, like your
now you got to reuse it. Yeah,
right, you don't have to reuse your mask, but now you have to do that suddenly, and just there's like a whole lot of new guidelines in place to like keep people from getting sick, make sure that like you were doing everything you could that weren't there before COVID. But
gotcha.
Yeah.
What would you say? So you mentioned kind of like, I don't know, I feel like the first year out of school you go through, at least for me, you kind of go through a phase of, what am I doing? I should just quit. Unless you still feel like you're in that phase. No. If you don't, you don't. When would you say that phase ended?
It wasn't like something that I was.
I'm
not in that phase, but I guess it's just like when like early on, like March, April, we were getting daily, even hourly updates of like what we had to change, do differently, all because, oh my gosh, so annoying. First of all, who has time to check their email that often?
Oh my goodness. How many emails you get in a day?
Like 20.
20?
Not like all from the same person, but probably like if I got 20 emails in a day, then let's say like a third of them were COVID related.
Do you have to read each one thoroughly, or is it a quick like subject line? Here's some things, like some you dive deep, but others it's just like, oh, that was just a notification essentially.
It depends on who sent it. Like some of them were like from the CNO, and it was just like a morale booster email and be like, trash.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have time to read that.
That's true.
But some of it would be like updates to protocols, updates to whatever, and like if it said like update to fill in the blank, then if I saw there was more than one in my inbox, then I would just like read the most recent one.
Okay.
I mean, I would pay attention to what the other one said, but I'd read the most recent one first so that I would know.
Okay. I was just sizing up your inbox. That's all.
Yeah, it's chilled a lot since we've gone back to
Oh,
normal,
yeah.
but
Well, especially like, I mean, for me, it's like my work we're still changing things. Like, it's crazy. So, yeah. So, what would be like the most radical change that you've had to like deal with, like out of the blue? It's like, we're changing this. And it's like, already then.
when we were we knew when we first started hearing about COVID being over in China, we knew about it.
Oh, it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah, we knew, and we were told, well, okay, so I work on the infectious disease floor.
Mhm.
Lucky me. So we
There
were
you go.
told, we were told, you guys will be the unit to get COVID patients if it ever comes to Lancaster. So like, okay. So we like mentally were kind of prepared, although how do you mentally prepare for something you have no idea what it's fully like?
Yeah.
But then like when it was more obvious that it was in America, that like it was coming,
Mhm.
and they put up like one of these anteroom chambers, like something out of a sci-fi movie. It was a little weird, but it was like this white thing that was covered, like went over our doors, so then like our entire unit could be negative pressure, which basically is like, instead of like a normal airflow being forced in, it was like reverse circulation, so pulling the air out.
Oh, okay.
So our entire unit could be turned into that, which it's cool, like cool engineering feat or whatever.
Mhm.
But then we had to have this anteroom chamber up, and then we had to change into OR scrubs, which are not comfortable at all, and they're very impractical. They only have 2 pockets. And
There you go. Yeah. Do you have to have a hazmat suit too?
No, because we weren't that special.
Oh my
But-
goodness.
No, but one of the doctors bought his own hazmat suit, and we're like, what the heck? Anyway, sorry, side story. So we had to like enter and exit. The other entrance to the unit was locked, so we had to enter and exit through the anteroom. It felt like something out of a sci-fi movie. But then the worst part was like, basically we're blocked off from the world. Once we were on that unit, we couldn't leave until the end of our shift. So we would have to stay there, couldn't like go get lunch. We would have to have food brought to us, like all this stuff. But people from other units and like other random staff, they could come up and look in and peek in our doors, windows, and would like knock on us, knock on the windows, and it felt like we were a zoo exhibit. It really sucked, and it was the biggest change. And then they took it away, like you don't
Out of the
actually
blue.
need this. Thanks.
That's great.
2 years, 2 months of my life spent not being able to leave, but
And then it's just like out of the blue, like you don't need it anymore.
yeah, it's like, did we need it in the first place?
Yeah.
But
Do you feel like we're through the worst of it, or do you think like it's gonna get nastier?
I have no idea.
It's hard to tell.
I don't know if I am qualified to answer that question.
None of us are. Even if you're the most qualified person in the world, it seems like.
I mean, I can say it was like super bad when like March and April was really bad, and like it definitely has relaxed a lot. Like people are not dying as frequently. They're not as unstable, it seems, at least for where I work.
Yeah.
Like enough so that my unit isn't COVID anymore. There's only 1 instead of 2 units that are COVID. So, I mean, I don't know. Like
it's hard to tell.
Also, like it's the summertime now. The weather's warmer. Does that have something to do with it?
Probably helps,
If it's
but
colder weather, does that make it worse? Like it's really hard to say. Like why it is like that. So
yeah. And this is just my off the cuff. Like I really don't know, but I'll throw a guess out there. Why not? Like I feel like in terms of the amount of infected people, like I still think we got a ways to go. But I think in terms of having the actual physical preparations to deal with what we have, I think we're much better suited now. But yeah, I think, I don't know, it's hard to tell because it's like until there's actually a vaccine or a cure, and it's a virus, so can you really even, like viruses are weird, right? Because if it's like
antibiotics don't really work on viruses. You get vaccines for viruses, but
even then it's like it's just a matter of getting your body to be able to deal with it.
Right.
So, and it's like if you get COVID once, can you get it again? Like that's the thing.
Like we've had some people that we've tested them so many times and they're positive every time, but they're no longer symptomatic versus someone who had it for the same amount of time and we test them the same time intervals and they test negative instead of testing positive again. It's like, how does that work? But
it's so hard to tell.
It's a weird virus.
Yeah, you ain't a kid in there. There's a reason it brought the world to its knees.
Seriously.
I know, right? Day shift or night shift?
If you had asked me this before I started working, I would say day shift all the way because I'm not a night person.
But
now that I'm working night shift, I love it, honestly. And I mean, it has its drawbacks. Like, you don't have as much of a social life, and you have to plan your sleep. I plan my day around my sleeping schedule, which I never thought I would ever do that. But
now you do.
Now I do. But honestly, night shift's better. You don't have to deal with management as often. You don't have to deal with doctors as often. And you don't have to deal with family members as often.
That is true. Yeah, even like for me, it's like night shift. There's not senior management there,
Right.
which the downside is there's not senior management there to recognize like your contributions. And like me, I'm like the weekend and night shift. So I'm like the Uber graveyard shift.
Do you only work on the weekend?
I work Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. So I actually took off work to be here right now.
Wow.
But you're welcome.
Thanks.
I still like the shift. It's only 3 nights. Every other shift is 4.
Right.
But also it's like I don't have a weekend. Well, I have a weekend, but it's the weekday, and everybody else is doing. It's like my roommate, Finny Johns. Like our schedules are literally like polar opposite. It's like good luck doing night shift for you. It's like nurses, you have to schedule it out in advance. So it's like good luck trying to find some. But if you know a bunch of other nurses who are night shift, then you can live the Uber night life, right?
Right. I mean, right now, like, I live at home still, like, paying off that student debt. But,
Sure.
So, like, for that, it does make night shift difficult, just, like, trying to get back into a day shift schedule, because that's what the rest of my family's on is day shift. But, yeah, I would still probably choose night shift.
Night shift. All right. So I got an audience question right here. This is actually my last one overall. This one comes from Lane Haluk, or he's asking, what is something you wish a non-medical person knew or understood regarding being a nurse based on your experience as one?
Oh, gosh.
Do you need me to say that again?
Yes, please.
What is something you wish a non-medical person knew or understood regarding being a nurse based on your experience as one?
TV very rarely gets it right.
Oh,
And
really?
Yeah, I know, shocker. But, like, I don't know. I feel like even though people know that, like, that's still the only, like, idea of what they have in their mind is what a nurse does. Like, I don't know if that really answered the question. It's not even really a good answer.
No, I'd say that answered it pretty good. Like you wish that non-medical people understood that just because TV has it one way doesn't mean reality is that way.
Sure.
It's kind of like I don't know if you watch HGTV at all.
That channel.
Oh, so like on that show on the HGTV, you got the Property Brothers who come in and like fix a house in 30 minutes on the TV show, but really that takes some time. And they're also professionals and have a group of professionals. Like, sorry, ma'am, your bathroom's going to take a little longer than 30 minutes to paint.
Yeah. I guess also, like, this just came to me that, like, when, like, we don't know everything, and, like, sometimes you, like, have the family members that come and visit or, like, call in.
They won't even tell you why they feel bad. They just expect you to be able to use your sonic radar thoughts
or they ask you 101 questions, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I can find out for you, but, like, I don't know that off the top of my head. And some people are, like, super annoyed by that.
Yes.
And I mean, I don't, like, if it's a stressful situation to have a family member in the hospital, but, like,
still
calm down. I'm not Encyclopedia Brown over here. Like, I don't know everything.
You should be Encyclopedia Maddie Feiser.
Right. But, like, some questions, it's like the doctor knows that, and you're just like, well, like, you have to wait for the doctor.
You have to talk to the doctor about that one.
When is the doctor going to get here? I don't know. Like, around breakfast time. But, yeah, just, like, or, like, random stuff about, like, their disease. I'm like, I can look it up for you, but, like, a doctor's a better person to ask.
Do you ever get people that come in, like, my family member's a nurse? And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Is that annoying?
It can be. Like, we've had family members where, like, their children, or like they have a relation that works in the hospital, so then that nurse will like come up, and it's a little like intimidating when you're taking care, or it's the patient themselves as a nurse. It's a little intimidating because it's like you have this like, okay, what if this nurse has a high standard, or like am I doing it, or like they know way more than I do, especially like I'm only a year out into nursing, and like most of the nurses are probably way more experienced and stuff, so it's just like, hopefully I don't mess up, and like don't screw up is going on in the back of my mind. But it can be a little intimidating.
Oh, I bet. Well, at least with regular patients, if you mess up, they don't know any better, whereas the nurse will be like, So that makes sense. Yeah. All right. So day shift, night shift, all that, medical people. It's good to know this stuff, right? Yeah. Trying to figure out where I lost track at. But yeah, I would say, it makes sense with people watching TV and seeing all that. So speaking of kind of perception, so kind of going through school, we already kind of talked a bit about perception of what you expect and all that. I don't know. Do you feel like going through school that actually was a good way to prep for the actual world of nursing? I don't know. I mean, you did your clinicals, which was helpful, but I don't know.
It definitely, yes. I'll just say yes.
Yes. Like prepped you better than nothing, obviously.
Right. I mean, real life is not textbook, and like tests are based off of textbook, not real life. Mm-hmm. So that was not as helpful, but like you get the gist of what's normal, what's not normal. But like real life is where you get experience, where you learn from your mistakes. So clinical, I would say, was like which you have to take in school. So yes.
Which was your favorite clinical?
Peds.
Yeah.
Pediatrics.
Yeah.
All you non-medical
people,
yeah. But I love kids, so yeah.
You don't work with kids at all right now,
Not
I don't
right
think.
now.
No.
Do you know how hard it is to get into pediatric your first, like...
Very hard.
You have to know people, so...
Yeah, I feel like peds, like, I mean, I'm obviously not a nurse. The only peds that, I would never work in peds. I'm glad you want to do it. But, like, ER peds, I feel like that would be, like, you either get the extreme, like, all right, Karen, like, your kid has a cold, like, go home. And then you got the, like, this kid was just, like, beaten and abused and, like, other things. It's like...
Well, that was my... So senior year, we have to do, like, a preceptorship, which is, like, a internship, basically. So mine was in a pediatric emergency room.
Oh, okay.
And it was definitely, like, we got the gamut of, like, kids came in basically dead, which is really hard to witness.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason. And then you also have the parents that come in that are anti-vaxxer, and you're bringing your sick child into an emergency room, which is probably not the cleanest place to bring your immuno-insufficient child.
I don't even know if they believed in medical care, you know?
Right. So, like, there was a doctor, like, I witnessed a doctor ream a family out because they were like, why would you bring your sick kid in to one of the germiest places where they can pick up who knows what else? And
COVID.
Right. But, yeah.
Gotcha, okay. What was your least favorite?
Maternity. I do not do well with hormonal moms. I think they're very annoying.
Oh, gosh. You don't deal with those in peds at all?
I mean, you do probably, but, like, moms that, like, are in labor or, like, pre-labor are just kind of, like, annoying. I don't know. And, like, I work better with kids than I do with adults. And, like...
Fair enough.
You have to deal with parents in pediatrics, but the kid is your focus.
Gotcha. So with the kid, like, how different is treating a kid to an adult? Because you have to, like, give them different dosages. You have to, like, there's a different way of conducting it, right? So, I don't know, like, how are you able to just... Because usually whenever you visit the hospital, you ask the kid, like, the patient questions. Are you able to really, like, ask the kid many questions, or you do it all through the parent?
So it depends on the age of the kid. Like, if they're 18, like...
No.
You're still a pediatric patient, technically.
Oh, even 18? Oh.
But, like, you'll ask them. Versus, like, if you're 5 years old, like, you're not going to ask them very many questions beyond, like, what's your birthday? What's your name? And, like, even then, like, with what's your birthday, some little kids just say whatever they want to.
I don't even know what my own birthday is, right?
So, but, yeah, like, younger kids are, like, kids that have, like, mental
Then they need a guardian to talk on their behalf.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
it depends.
That's usually how the question goes. It depends. Could work in HR.
Right.
So with kids, you don't interact with many kids on your floor, right? Okay. I was about to ask, like, oh, do they like come in with COVID at all? Because like kids, isn't there like?
Yeah.
I mean, they actually just had someone tell me that like their 3-year-old died from COVID like last week. I was like, oh, that's rough. What I was like, what do you say? But kids, they usually don't react much to it, right? I don't really know.
I mean, again, not as professional in that field, but like just from what I've read or heard, like people, like kids don't react like what you said. They don't react the same way. They have like different reactions to it, like rashes and other stuff that I don't know if that's more just like isolated versus like consistent over the full board. And I don't know if it's like if teenagers get it more easily than like little kids. Like I don't know, but I mean kids have gotten it. I just.
When it comes to Pennsylvania, because I actually don't know this, because I know Ohio has had some mandates with masks. I assume Pennsylvania has one. Okay. Is yours, if you're 10 or younger, you don't have to wear one?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
So different from Ohio, we have had a mask mandate almost from the beginning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It hit Pennsylvania way harder than I think it hit Ohio.
It was starting to hit Ohio. Then in March, DeWine, he just like shut it down right away. He didn't even mess around. So it's like, I'll give him kudos for that.
So our Governor Wolf is a very loved and very hated person, depending on who you ask.
I believe it.
Yeah, so he shut everything down, and everything stayed shut down until about, I want to say May. Things started to open back up, and like restaurants and whatnot were only at like dine outside, like, or takeout only.
Takeout.
So, like, you can imagine like lots of smaller businesses went belly up because of it.
It's a rough time to be a small business. Great to be a corporation. Yeah. It's a great time.
Walmart or whatever. Good for you.
Oh, Amazon's doing great.
Oh, yeah.
We are doing just fine.
But we started to like kind of ease up on just like diners, like not diners, but like dine-in was starting to reopen. We were up to like 50% indoor seating capacity, and then I guess like with this surge or whatever, it like pushed us back to like 25% seating capacity. But like we've always had the mask mandate.
Gotcha. Okay. It's bad to say that I didn't know that, because I know states have their own ways of handling it and stuff. Like I remember at first it seemed like Ohio had one of the more extreme responses from the start, and then like other states, like I know Michigan, it was like okay, and it's like wham, like out, like from my understanding, it was like oh well.
No, I actually was like really impressed with Ohio's like how they dealt with it. Like I felt like you guys your government did a good job. But
yeah, I think because it's like I don't know. To me, it's like once it started hitting, it's like I don't know. Like if you're gonna do it. Like do it from the start.
And I definitely think like it was necessary to shut things down at the beginning, because like there's no way that hospitals were prepared for this, and like there's no way that we would have been prepared for it, especially if nothing had been shut down. But like it gave us time to catch up.
Yeah,
I'm kind of with you on like I don't know how much good it would do now. Just like
I think at this point,
it would hurt
like
more than help. I kind of think.
Yeah, I agree. I think at this point, until there's like an actual cure, like we're just dragging this out. I mean, am I saying herd immunity, just put them all together, let them get sick? I mean, no, not at all. But there probably is going to come a point where it's like, I don't know. But you, a nurse, have something to say, so I'll gladly hear what you have to say. Oh, no, okay. I was going to say, I don't know if you had something.
Mentally moving closer to the microphone.
Oh, yes. Okay, you're like moving closer. Yeah, because it's so hard because, I don't know. I just feel like we're dragging this out so much. But it's like, what do you do?
Right.
Like, especially with the states. I mean, we test like crazy in the states. We're so like individualistic and move around so much. Like other countries, you can isolate it better. Right. Like I think New Zealand had a point where there was like, I think if not no one had it, they at least had it down. But to be fair, when you're an island country and
it's kind of easy to isolate.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like the U.S., like people come in and out all the time. The cities, Ohio. So the way we're doing it now, is by county. It's like there's tier 1, 2, 3, and 4 severity.
Right.
Franklin County, which is Columbus, is a tier 3, and then Summit County, which is Akron, was a tier 3. And it used to be like if you were a tier 3, there was a mask mandate. Nobody had hit tier 4, but
What is tier 4?
I don't know exactly. I think it just like flat out closed everything down. Tier 1, it was just like, you're fine. 2 is, I'm going to start getting concerned about this. But then after that, they're just like, just statewide.
Right. Yeah, we had like a red, yellow, green, like red light kind of system. But it was like green was like you're good.
You're good.
You had the least amount of restrictions.
Was
like,
it by county or? Okay.
Yeah. So like how Pennsylvania set up, like Philly is in the southeast and it's like the most populated, and you get more spread out, more rural the farther.
That was probably like red or green. I mean, yellow.
Yeah. So they went. So Northwest went green. Well, went yellow and green first, and Philly was like the last area to go green.
Gotcha. Okay. So I got like a. There's a spread corona all over Charity's apartment.
Great.
Yes. Oh yes, we're in Charity Best's apartment. So thank you, Charity, for letting us host in here.
Didn't drive all the way to Pennsylvania to interview.
Believe it or not, no. I mean, you didn't drive all the way to Columbus, or is it probably closer? I don't know. I'm trying to think of like
closer by like an hour.
It's like let me think of how a map works here. Okay. Yeah, and it's crazy, like, looking at schools and stuff. I'm sure you looked at Cedarville's, like, plan or to some extent, and I'm sure Pennsylvania's to the same extent. I don't know. I'm standing by my conspiracy theory that I said, where it's, like, Labor Day.
Oh, gosh.
I feel like the week after Labor Day, they're going to close everything down again.
I really hope you're wrong.
I do, too. That's my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I don't know. I know, like, a lot of schools in Pennsylvania are offering cyber school like online. I know Harvard's doing that for like $50,000. No, thank you.
Nerds, no.
It's like the most expensive online school ever. But I think like my younger brother and sister, they're both in person. But there's like a couple of my friends, they're not doing in-person classes. It's all online.
What colleges do your younger siblings go to?
My brother will be going to Grove City.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know Grove City.
And in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, not in the Columbia. Yeah, Grove City, Pennsylvania. Just to clarify.
And my sister goes to this school, Asbury, which is down in Lexington.
Okay. Just want to clarify for I didn't know your brother was going to Grove City, but he's also going to be a freshman in college. So
yes, he is. What a time.
I know. Oh my gosh. I don't know who I feel bad. I know who I feel more bad for. I was gonna say high school seniors or college seniors, but I feel more bad for the high school seniors.
College graduation isn't like a huge deal. I feel like it's exciting, but like high school graduation, I felt like was more exciting.
Like high school, you probably will go into college next, which has to deal with all this as well. I mean, granted, the workforce you have to deal with it, but I don't know. It's a little different whenever you're in school. Like I think at my private school that I was going to, they started releasing stuff on plans for what they're going to do. I was like, just imagine, it's like if I was in high school and I had to deal with this, like, dang, like, I don't know.
Like little kids, like their schedule is totally thrown from like what it was before. Like, that sucks for those parents. But
No, I was looking, it was like, can a parent bring their kid to the classroom at the start? And it was like, I think it was kindergarten, a parent or two can come in, but they got to wear a mask. They have to pass the temperature check, and then they can walk them there on the first day of school. And then after that, it's like, I think the kids, I'm not sure, the kids might have to wear masks. I didn't read too in depth, but it's just, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's better than trying to do it all through Zoom. Like if I was 4 years old and it was like, do this Zoom class, be like, heck no.
Right. But like, I know some colleges are doing like straight like start of the year to Thanksgiving school.
Yes.
In between, and then
Cedarville's doing that.
A longer break.
Yeah, I do think that's a wise choice because like there's no Labor Day, which is crazy because Cedarville's like big into Labor Day. There's no Labor Day, fall break. I do think that's actually a wise choice.
Right.
And then sports. Oh my goodness.
I didn't do college sports, so this one is.
I was just talking about sports in general too, The Eagles, are they going to play?
They will in a crowdless stadium, which is so weird. Like
That's
half of the thing of Philly games is like the crowd.
Yeah.
Like we're known for how we act, but no sports. Like I don't know if you follow baseball or not, but like
oh my goodness, a little bit, yeah.
The Phillies played the Marlins last
Yes,
week.
yes.
And the Marlins ruined the MLB station or MLB season.
They all went out and partied and got COVID.
And they knew about it and still played.
Yeah.
What the HE double hockey
It's just
is.
like, that, like, I mean, granted, I get it on one hand. It's okay, like, people get on accident. It's like, if you know in advance, like, if you do certain things you're going to get, just kind of common sense.
If you know you have it, why would you still play? Like, they knew they had it.
It's the worst. Like, as I think I was telling you, like an associate showing up to work knowing that they had it. It's like, what are you doing? Get out.
Were you born under a rock?
It's just like
what the heck?
just common courtesy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's annoying. Just like, if you knew you had it, what are you doing?
Right. But, I mean, I don't normally go to sports games because they're kind of expensive
They are.
to go to. So I just watch from the comfort of my home anyway. So that will not be too much of an impact.
I still feel like the players feed off the energy of the crowd.
For sure.
So I don't know.
For sure.
We'll see how that is. But I don't know. It just, even if some places can have crowds, it's like, I'm sure it'll be a socially distant crowd. And I don't know. This has just been so weird. So what do you think, kind of going down on the wrapping up end of things,
Sounds good.
what do you think is going to take to end all this?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't even know. Like,
Do you think we'll be wearing masks in 2040?
Probably not.
No.
I mean, like, we wear the mask at work for the flu, but, like, no one else does.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're immunocompromised or whatever. So, like, I don't know. Eventually, something has to happen.
Do you think we'll just, it'll be just like getting a flu shot every year? I'm going to go get my COVID shot.
I have no idea.
I'm just throwing.
I don't need another shot in my life, but.
I'm just throwing theories out there.
It could be. I mean, I feel like COVID's already changed how we live life a lot. So, like, how much of those changes will be permanent versus just during this era of a pandemic that we're living in. Yeah.
This is just me, just conspiracy theory Maddie right here. You don't have to have any facts to just support what this is, but how do you think, what impact, like what changes do you think are going to stick around?
I don't know. It'd kind of be interesting to see like how it would affect how we view healthcare. Just like from my standpoint, like when we were dealing with this early on, like before hospitals had reopened to like, because we had shut down like any elective surgeries were canceled, and like people were kind of scared to come to the hospital. Like emergency department visits were very low. Hospital census itself was way low. Well,
people were getting furloughed, which is crazy because it's like I thought nurses would be secure, but it's like nurse.
You work on the COVID floor.
You got job security, but it's like
Oh. But like people were going to urgent cares more often than than the emergency room, which urgent cares are there for the little things and emergency rooms are there for emergencies. And sometimes people don't always know that, so and they come to emergency rooms for like cat bites or
and then they go to urgent care for like I just got my arm shot off.
Right? So it was kind of nice, like the things that were being admitted into the hospital that were not COVID related were like actual things, and like the people that were coming into the emergency room was like actual emergencies. It wasn't like little stuff. So
what's the most ridiculous thing that has come into the emergency room?
I have heard, because I'm not really supposed to know these things because HIPAA.
From a HIPAA perspective of ignoring that, you don't have to give names or identifiers.
I've heard a cat bite was probably one of the stupidest stuff, or like just like vaginal bleeding from a teenage girl. Upper teenage.
First time.
I don't know.
It's like it's like the meme where the guy's getting hanged. He's like, first time.
Yeah, I'm like. like, you try to not judge people off of why you see they've come in, but it's really hard not to. Sometimes nurses are some of the most judgmental people.
They say you guys are the most trusted profession, but you nurses are savages.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll hear some of the stories Wyatt says, and I'm like, that's your patient you're talking about there.
My brother works in the emergency room, which is totally different than floor nursing.
That's true. I know he'll get a lot of, like, homeless people come in and they'll like, I want to die. It's like, okay, well, we're going to deal with it. And it's like, once they got their shower, I want to get out of here.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, and that's so hard because, I mean, you want to help everybody. And obviously, like, the system's set up to where you are enabled to help a lot of people. But it's also like, you know, this person's taking advantage of it. But,
like
you know,
the drug-seeking patients that will, like, lie that they're hallucinating or whatever so that they get their drugs or, like, will leave if they don't get the drugs they want.
But it's like, you know, I'm just here to help.
Right. It's my job to care.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, as like you have that handful of like awful patient experience and whatnot, but I love nursing. Like, I went into it because I love helping people, and I've been doing that. So
I'm glad you like it. Good for you. I'll let you take care of the other people. I'll just take their money or whatever I do.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good to me. All right. So to wrap things up, based off of our discussion today, or just life in general, what is one final piece of advice you'd like to share with our audience today? If you listen to my podcast, you'd have known this one's coming.
Yeah, well, you've also asked, who do you want to give a shout out to?
That's after this.
Oh, well, gosh. I guess I would say don't give up just because something is hard or seems impossible to do, because even if you fail, you still learn from that and can do better the next time.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have any additional shout outs you'd like to give before we wrap this up? Who would you like to shout out?
I guess I'll give a shout out to my college friends, Cal and Chair specifically. We stayed together all 4 years of nursing school, and honestly, they got me through the toughest years of nursing school. So major shout out to them.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you, Maddie. It's been a great discussion today.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you. And thank you, my beloved audience, for listening in today. It's great having you here. And well, like always, have a nice day.